Namaste and welcome to Soulful Sundays with Dr. Mitali Upadhyay, FB Live 4:30 p.m. and we are in our 5th month of Soulful Sundays. And our topic for today is 5 steps on how to overcome your negative emotion. What are the 3 main vital aspects of an emotion? First and the most important aspect is focus. As soon as an emotion, anything happens, try and see where is my focus. What am I focusing on? Very often, currently, let's take these current days example also. The news are full of the news channels, the papers, the social media are full of different kinds of news. And yet, some news are positive, some news are negative. Even though we get the statistics of the death rates because of COVID, we also get the statistics of the recovery rates. We also get the statistics of cases which have come out of their problem. But seriously tell me, which is the statistics that your mind first gets drawn to? The one which is full of negative news or the one which is full of positive news? Give me quickly in the comment box. Do you focus more on the negative news or you focus more on the positive news? If you focus on positive, put in positive in the comment box. And if you focus on negative, put in negative into the comment box. Yes, it depends from person to person, but that is what humans are. We first tend to focus on the negative things. A simple example, if there is a big quarrel or a fight happening on the street, even if we have got nothing to do with that fight or that quarrel, half of us will park our vehicle in the corner, get out of the vehicle, go and see what really is happening and what this fight is about. You see a big crowd of people who are completely unrelated to that accident or to that event, just standing there and taking fun. And त्याच्यामध्ये जर का खूप मारामारी सुरू झाली तर 4-5 जण पुढे जाऊन आपले पण हात धुवून घेतात. कुठला तरी केव्हाच्या काळचा राग त्या चोरावर किंवा त्या ऍक्सिडेंट झालेल्या केलेल्या माणसावर काढून घेतात, बिकॉज मे बी समथिंग लाईक दॅट हॅज हॅपन्ड इन माय लाईफ अँड आय नेव्हर गॉट अ चान्स टू डू इट. And this is what exactly most of us reaction would be. That's because negative emotions tend to be very strong and tend to be very loud. Mind you, it doesn't mean that positive emotions are not strong, but negative emotions have a very high rate of frequency of vibration. And because of it, they tend to attract and take our attention or our focus on them more quickly than the positive emotions. And that is where the first important thing that needs to happen is, where is your focus? So maybe sometimes in our house, when a servant, if you see the servant is really working hard, she's putting in all her efforts, she's a very trustworthy person, but yet there might be one problem with her, that she doesn't come on time. There might be some problem with her that she leaves work incomplete. But what do? Very often as we ladies, we will keep thinking and focusing on these aspects. की ती कधी वेळेतच येत नाही, ती खूप सुट्ट्या घेते, ती खूप दांड्या मारते. पण आपण हा आस्पेक्ट बघत नाही की ती खूप ट्रस्टवर्दी आहे, ती खूप रिलायबल आहे. आपण आपल्या घराची चावी तिच्याकडे देऊन कधी केव्हाही बिंदास जाऊ शकतो. And she is good in her work. But that is rarely what we will focus on, though we are very much aware of these good qualities of her. पण आपल्या लोकांशी बोलताना किंवा आपला स्वतःचा सेल्फ टॉक जेव्हा असतो तेव्हा बरेच वेळा तो टॉक असा असतो, ही ना कधीच, ही अशीच आहे, कधी वेळेत येत नाही, शी सो अनरिलायबल, आय कॅन नेव्हर ट्रस्ट हर. आणि किती सुट्ट्या घेते, सांगून पण सुट्ट्या घेत नाही, कळवत पण नाही. सो दिस इज व्हॉट इज ह्युमन नेचर. वी टेंड टू फोकस ऑन व्हॉट्स नॉट गुड अबाउट अस and also what's not good about the people and the situations around us. So that is what is most important for us to understand. Where is my focus? When it comes to that, the first thing that you need to ask yourself is this, the where my focus is that going to help me? Is that going to be useful to me? What is the outcome of me focusing on this particular thing? Naturally, depending on where our focus is, then is what is the emotion that is triggers. That is the second aspect of it. If I am focusing on the good and happy and positive parts of my life and the society and the situation, the emotions that naturally I am going to experience are going to be positive. Do you agree? Yes. So if you agree, give me a quick write into the comment box that if you focus on positive things, you are going to get positive emotions in your mind, and you're going to experience positive emotions in your body. And if you focus on negative things, you are going to experience negative emotions in your mind and your body. Just like very often in our relationship or even with our children, we would, if we keep focusing that हे लोक अभ्यासच करत नाहीत, हे लोक कामच करत सिन्सिअरली कधी होमवर्कच कंप्लीट करत नाहीत, they are all the time whiling away their time, God knows what's going to happen to their future. You are always going to be worried and anxious about your child and his progress. If you are going to be upset about he losing 1 mark or 2 mark in his report card or his progress card, you will feel that that is always a lot of anxiety that surrounds you about your children. But at the same time, your child could be amazingly good in drawing, he could be amazingly good in painting, he might be bad in English, but he might be equally good in maths. But we keep focusing on that aspect which is not good rather than focusing on the aspect which is good. I remember a story shared by one of our friends. He said, when I was very small, I was hardly in 3rd standard, and it was that open day, my parents had come and my teacher called my parents, and my teacher started telling them lots and lots of complaints as to how I was very poor in maths, and they had to give me extra tuition, they had to put tutors, others I will not fail, I will not pass in maths, and I will fail in maths. So my parents listened to all this they took everything. Just before leaving, they said, but there is one thing that I must tell you, that your son is excellent in his languages, and he has done really very good in his English and the first language, that is Marathi, that was there at that time. So he said, one thing I must tell you, today I am a good and reputed writer only for this one reason, that my parents that day did not listen to what my teacher said about me being weak in my maths. My parents came home and they said, oh great, this is an excellent feedback that your teacher has given us, that you are very good in languages. And from that day, the one thing that they did was that they kept buying more and more books of different aspects in life. Maybe it is fiction, whether it is fact stories, whether it is autobiographies, whether it is children's stories. So he said, right since I was in 3rd standard, at a young age of hardly 7 or 8, my parents started nurturing this flair and liking for language. Tell me, how many of us as parents do this? Wouldn't it be a very natural reaction of a parent to panic that their child is not doing good in maths, and immediately see to it that they get a tutor and arrange a special tuition, somebody in the house sits extra time, gives him homework to do maths, and a big journey and tussle with maths. A certain set of emotions for all of us. So when it comes to those emotions, what we need to ask ourselves is, are they necessary? The reactions when they come, what is it going to serve me? Are they useful to me? What is going to be the outcome of these emotions that I am experiencing? In office also, very often it would happen that a colleague does better than us, a colleague gets promotion. We would definitely feel happy for him, but at the same time, it would be very natural to have a streak of jealousy or even envy and experience that sort of a feeling that how could this person go ahead of me? How could this person get in promotion? Half the time he doesn't do his work, half the time he doesn't report on time, half the time he's always taking leaves or he's working from home. So these kind of experiences are a part of a human life. But more than what they do to others, it is most important to understand that they affect us. They affect our mental health. They affect our physical health. What we need to understand is, what is the outcome of this? If we are going to focus on the negative aspects and the negative emotions, the outcome is not going to be a response, but it is more going to be a reaction. So the third aspect that we have to look into is that what is the outcome in this situation? So the first aspect is, what am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the positive aspect of the situation or the negative aspect of the situation? Because we all know that there are two sides to each coin, right? Do you agree? If you feel that you agree with me that there are two sides to a coin, please quickly give me in the comment box two sides. Yes, life has these two sides, and it's up to us to decide whether we look at the heads or the tails. Which side do we choose to? So that is the focus, the first point. The second point is the emotions that it triggers. If you are going to focus on the negative aspects of a person or a situation, it's always going to trigger out negative emotions. Recently, I had an experience of a couple. It was natural in the current situations. The husband was not doing good in his work. He was losing on his work because of the current crisis. Naturally, his income was getting affected. But parallelly, in the other side, for some reasons, his wife was doing exceedingly well. And in spite of all these problems, she was able to maintain her job. She was able to maintain a good salary or an income, and ensure that this could keep the balance of the house well. She was in the responsibilities which her husband was not able to fulfill or willingly pitch in to whatever financial needs of the house were. But unfortunately, instead of focusing that, okay, right now I am not able to balance the boat, the major chunk of the part is taken over by my wife, and she is the stabilizing and factor in this equation right now. He chose to feel more insecure. He chose to feel more jealous and envious that his wife was doing better. Naturally, because he was focusing on this aspect, that his wife was doing better than him, the emotions that he started creating was jealousy and envy. And the responses that started coming were also from the place of this jealousy and envy. Coming from a place of jealousy and envy, quickly give me into a comment box, what do you think would be the outcome of this? What could be the outcome of this relationship? When the partner, instead of recognizing that currently the whole world and their family is in the crisis, and it's time to, in that crisis, at least one of us is doing better, and because of it, the house is stable and the balance of the house is not lost, chooses to focus more on he not getting enough, his partner doing better, and as a result going into insecurities, jealousies and envy, what is going to be an outcome of all this? Exactly. The outcome is not going to be a very positive outcome. All of us, so it is not going to be an effective outcome. It is going to be where there are going to be more arguments, more quarrels, more fights, more misunderstandings, more ego tussles, just because the focus was wrong. So this is what I want to share with all of you. One of the first and the most important thing when it comes to dealing with negative emotions is, every time an emotion rises up, check where is my focus. If you choose to focus on the negative aspect, the outcome is also not going to be positive. Well, now how do we go about changing this? As I said, as I promised to all of you, I am going to give you 5 steps that can help you to come out of this situation, which most of us go into. Right? Well, what are the first steps? The first and the most important step is to be in acceptance. Be in acceptance of the situation and be in acceptance of the emotion that the situation arises in you. It's okay for you to feel jealous. It's okay for you to feel envious. It's okay for you to feel anxious, nervous, or even fearful and panic. In these current times, when we go through all these situations, we all feel absolutely disturbed. Yes, Anita, broken relations, I agree with you. Definitely, the outcome would not be positive. It would be broken relationships and disappointed hearts, and both of them being hurt and wounded. That's what the outcome would be. Yes, thank you for sharing. So the first and the foremost thing is, we all go into denial. When a negative emotion comes up, we try and go into denial, saying that I'm not feeling this. Or we go into a complete panic that I am feeling this. Especially if it is a darker side of an emotion. Maybe it be envy, hatred, jealousy, insecurity. One often tends to go into denial that I don't feel something like this. When it is when I will not say the positive, but when it is the side of an emotion which is very obvious and which can be seen, which could be anxiety or panic, we tend to get into this zone that I don't want this. We tend to disown this. The first thing that needs to be done is to focus and to accept that emotion. Okay, there's panic here, there's jealousy here, there is hatred here, there is disappointment here, there is rejection here, there is sadness here, there is grief here, there is loss here. So the moment you are able to accept the emotion, claim the emotion, it helps to reduce the intensity and the severity of the emotion. The more we try to push it under the carpet or hide it behind the doors or behind closets, the intensity increases. And every time another incident or episode comes, it just keeps adding to it. Right? Agree with me? So it's better out than in is the first rule. And for that, the first thing is acceptance. That's because if all of you all agree with this idea of acceptance, please quickly put into the chat box, put into the comment box, acceptance. I'll tell you why. The moment you accept the emotion loses its grip and power on you. You're no more the victim of that emotion. The emotion no more continues to rule you. It's rather you have in the process of claiming back your power. You are in the process of being much more in a calmer and composed state. And a mind that is more calm, the mind that is more composed, has much more clarity about what needs to be done now. Whereas the mind which tries to push the emotion down becomes a troubled mind. It loses its clarity. It loses its ability to decide. It loses its focus because it takes a tremendous amount of energy to suppress or to put under the water negative emotions. Simple exercise. Have you ever gone swimming into a swimming pool or in the rivers? Have you all? Yeah. And have you ever tried to play with a ball? Next time you do that, try and push a ball under the water. It's very difficult to hold the ball under the water. If you're trying to hold the ball under the water, it takes a lot of energy. After some times, you'll want to pull your hand out because your hand starts paining. You can't hold the ball under the water for a very long time. It takes a lot of energy to push that ball under the water. And that is exactly what we are doing most of the time in our life. Most of the time in our life, all the negative emotions that we experience, we try to push it underneath. Can you agree with me now that it takes a lot of energy to suppress, to repress, and to push down negative emotions? And therefore, it is better out than in. Agree with me? Give me a quick better out than in the comment box if you agree with me that out is much better than in. And therefore, the first and the most important thing is to be in acceptance of the emotion. The next important thing is not to play the victim. It is very, very, very easy to play the victim. All of us do this. All of us love to play being victim to the situation or being victim to the circumstances. It's very easy to say that this happened with me, and we then create our own pain story and go into our own pain story. And we keep selling this pain story to ourselves, and we keep selling this pain story to others also. So the next important the second important step to overcoming negative emotions is get out of being a victim. no victimhood. Stop making yourself a victim of circumstances and emotions. The moment you do that, the moment you realize that I don't need to be a victim, and the moment you choose to come out of the story, if you've lost a promotion, you will create a story as to how my boss is not impartial, how my boss always does partiality, he likes people who butter him up, how his focus is only on people who are good talkers, he is not interested in sincere and committed work, and how a big injustice was done to me by my boss. And we have at that moment created a perfect victim of ourselves and sold that story to ourselves and also to the people around us, right? How many of you have ever done this victimhood, or how many of you have ever experienced this sort of an experience in your life? If you have, give me a quick I have in the chat box. Yes, Anita, absolutely. The self-pity mode is not good, and yet all of us play the victim. All of us love to play the victim. And it may not be something very big, it might be a very small thing also. And we love to take advantages of these situations where we try to feel that I am the victim of the situations and get sympathy, attention from other people. But mind you, this can happen only for some time. After some time, other people realize what you are doing. They get tired of sympathizing with you, and as a result, finally stop being your friends or stop paying attention to your stories. For then it becomes a routine for them, because they realize no matter how much ever we sympathize, how much ever we try to support, there is no end to it. This person seems to love playing the victim. So that's the second thing. The third important step to overcoming your negative emotions is choice. We all have a choice. All of us have a choice. There could be a time in our life when we feel that I don't have choices. But if you sit and look back to the situations in your life, you will realize that you always had a choice. And what you are today and what situations you are experiencing today is because of the choices that you have made. Very often I have heard mothers cribbing that I have missed on my career. I had such a great, grand education. I stood first. I came in first in the university. I was doing an amazing job. And here I am now at home looking after my kids. And all my career has gone down the line. And they would love to blame the in-laws. They would love to blame the family, the husband, the children for what they are today. And yet, what needs to be understood is that it's a choice that you made. You always had a choice. And it was your choice either to leave your job and stay at home for whatever reasons that were there for you. So the choices are always ours. We love to sell the story of a victimhood. So the most important thing is to realize that we have choices in life and we are the ones who make those choices. And if we learn to make happy and healthy choices, we could always be happy, positive, joyous. But if we are all the time repeatedly making negative choices, then we are always going to go into negative emotions and always going to suffer the burden of these negative emotions. Right? Step that all of us needs to remember, and all of us is important, is look for the positive. It's so important to look for the positive. The moment we realize that we are playing the victim and we have changes, it is possible to look for the positive in that situation. Learn to flip the coin. As I said, everything has two sides to the coins. And then the fourth important step is the ability to flip the coin and to see the other side of the coin, what is there. And that is possible the moment you accept your emotions, the moment you stop playing victimhood, the moment you realize that your destiny is in your hand and it all depends on the choices you have made. The awareness, the moment it comes that I am today or currently what I'm experiencing is because of the choices I made. The next step that remains to do is flip the coin and see the other side. Automatically you will start seeing the positive side of the whole situation that has come up. Every situation would have a positive side to it. So many situations that I just shared with you. The boy with the English marks and the mathematics marks. The parents decided to make a choice to choose and look at the positive side of their child rather than focusing on the negative side of the child. Even this husband who was focusing on the aspect that his wife is earning more than him, and as instead of going into security, if he realizes this and lets go of his victimhood, he would now realize that he has a choice to feel happy that the family is in balance, and even in these tough situations they are not suffering, and somebody is there who's taking the burden or shouldering the responsibility, whether it is he or his wife. In the end, the chakra goes on. It's not stopped. There's no halt. He would realize that, and then he would be rather more grateful to his wife, the company that has retained his wife, who continues to employ her, give her money, and see to it that their financial stability is still in balance. So this is again the ability to look on the positive side of everything that happens in our life. The moment we learn to shift, it makes a shift. And the last and the most important thing, and which is rather should come the first, the fifth point is take responsibility. All of us have heard this so many times in our life, that we are responsible. We are responsible for every damn thing that happens on this earth. Every small or big thing that happens, we are responsible. I remember the first time I did this course with SSY, the first lesson of SSY is, you are responsible. I am responsible. And therefore, for the first 3 days, the whole classroom was debating with the teacher as to how I can be responsible. If there is global warming, how can I be responsible? If there is war, how can I be responsible? If there's poverty, how can I be responsible? If there's power shortage, how can I be responsible? If the government topples, how can I be responsible? And we had such a beautiful discussion with our mentor, wherein slowly, steadily, removing one blindfolds that we keep, that we had on our eyes, our mentor showed it and brought it to our awareness so beautifully that for everything that happens in our life, we are responsible. If somebody is experiencing shortage and power cut, we are responsible because we haven't been vigilant about switching our lights off in time. If somebody is experiencing water shortage somewhere in some remote villages and they are not getting enough water to drink, we are responsible somewhere because we have not switched off our taps in time. So somebody is experiencing poverty, it's because somewhere we have not been vigilant about the expenses and we have given leverage to people in the wrong way. So yes, the moment we learn to take responsibilities, and these are big things, let's first take responsibilities for small things that happen in our life. आपल्याकडे उगाचच म्हणत नाहीत की टाळी एक हाताने वाजत नाही. Anything that happens, there is always two people who are responsible. In that situation, there are always both the sides are responsible for whatever happens. And the moment you learn to take responsibility, we learn to take responsibility of our own actions, it is possible to let go of those negative emotions. It is possible to replace them with more positivity and healthy emotions. And that is what is our lecture for today. So do you agree with me that taking responsibility is one of the most important aspects of having a more healthy and positive emotions? Give me a quick I am responsible. And if you feel that you have been responsible in your life, you deserve to put in I am responsible in the chat box. And one more very important thing that I would like to say is that there are no right ways and wrong ways of doing it. There are always my ways of doing it. This is how I have understood as to how negative emotions need to come or can be overcome based on my experiences, based on what I observe in my clinic, what I observe in my therapy room when I work with n number of patients, listen to their stories, and of course my own life.